News at TMJ4.com.
Well, after months of uncertainty, bickering, and debate, the president has signed a bipartisan agreement on student loan interest rates. But some people say the deal fails to address the bigger issue, the skyrocketing cost of college.
Certified financial planner Tony Drake with WealthWisconsin.com here to talk about what this new deal means for students and their parents, both now and as this new restructured plan rolls forward into the future.
Thanks for being with us, Tony. First of all, let's talk about this new deal on student interest rates. What does this mean?
Basically, what the bill addressed was how they're going to set the interest rate. So on June 1st, they're going to look at the 10-year Treasury note, and they're going to tie it to that note for the life of the loan. That means folks going back to school this fall, taking out loans, going to pay somewhere, depending on the type of loan they take out, from 4 to 6%.
Okay, so what's the good part of this legislation and what's the bad part for consumers?
I think the good part is certainly the fact that it's going to lower rates for the short term, and it's also going to take some of the stability and put it back into that. A lot of folks are afraid because of the political fighting, how they were going to handle that, and so it certainly fixed some of that. Some of the downsides, certainly, because it's tied to the 10-year Treasury, that can and will go up over time. Now, they did put a cap on those loans. Again, depending on the type of loan, that's going to vary from 8 to 10%. And as you mentioned earlier, the other problem, it didn't really address the larger problem, rising costs of student college loans and due to tuition, and also mounting student debt.
Yeah, one thing parents are just saying over and over, many parents are just struggling because college costs just go up, up, up. And what does this mean for really our country as a whole? Well,
it's interesting. For the first time in history, student loan debt exceeds credit card debt today in our country, believe it or not. And it's a rising problem. A recent study showed us about half of folks surveyed said it's just not a good financial decision. That means they're looking and saying the benefits of the college degree are outweighed by the cost of the tuition.
What do you mean when you say there's no escaping student debt?
Many people don't realize if you have to declare bankruptcy, unfortunately, student loans are not forgiven. They'll continue to accrue penalties, and if you're looking for a way to pay these off, we have a great budget worksheet on our website, WealthWisconsin.com, that can help you. And another misconception, it's not just folks in their 20s that are faced with this problem. This is also facing retirees. More than 2 million retirees over the age of 60 have student loan debt. Back in 2000, only 6 people had Social Security withheld due to student loan debt. Last year, 120,000 had Social Security benefits withheld because they were behind on their student debt.
There are some things you can do in terms of like income-based repayment where you only have to pay for 10 years if you work in certain categories, like if you work for a nonprofit, if you're a teacher or something.
There are some great benefits. Those are some of them. You can also, if you're in trouble, it's important, don't just ignore it. Don't take the mail and throw it in the garbage. Call your lender. They have some great interest-only programs. There's a lot that they'll do to help you, but you have to stay in communication with that lender.
Yeah, and what are some of the important things that people need to think about if they're planning to borrow? Because this is something that you really have to plan out and you have to do your homework.
Yeah, you certainly want to have a budget. And you want to consider that. Now, I think to say student, college tuition isn't worth it is probably not a smart decision. No. But folks are faced with it. How do I pay for it? Average student is coming out of college with over $35,000 in debt.
Yeah, and a lot of these, and a lot of doctors and lawyers have these bills for years and years and years, and they find themselves never able to get out. Are there things people can do to sort of consolidate these credit loans, or what can they do in addition to, just reducing their debt?
Yeah, there's certainly some consolidation plans that you can do. You can also go to the private market, get away from the federal loans, and sometimes there you can get better interest rates.
You can lock it in.
That's right, especially in a time like now, although the new bill is allowing you to lock in your rate as well.
Still a good idea to go to college.
That's right. That's right. Always important.
It helped you, right?
That's
Thank you, Tony.
WealthWisconsin.com. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
We've seen some storms kind of float through